Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge. It's the post-game show for what ended up being a disappointing game as we lost in overtime to the Leafs 6-5. And it's they played well enough to it was a good game overall. It was actually a very exciting game, just a disappointing end to a kind of seesaw game back and forth with the score. And it went to overtime, went to a shootout, and that's what happens sometimes. All right, let's see who's here. And if you are here, say hi. Let's talk about the game. And we'll talk about the upcoming game, too, Saturday versus Chicago here in Montreal. So let's do that. Let's just see who's here. Guru, nice to see you back as the first the first comment. I think I said both shows. Not a bad game, character building, and didn't just give them a win. Allen needed to be better. Yeah, I mean, Allen, you could blame Allen here because if Allen was a little bit better and didn't give up two bad goals, we probably win this game. Although he was good all night in general, right? Hey, Blended. As a Leafs fan, Montreal versus Toronto doesn't get any better. Awesome game. Allen made some huge saves. Montreal's top six is good. They are. And Allen did make some huge saves and then gave up a couple of stinkers. Only took 25 minutes of penalty for the Leafs to steal a point. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hey, Adam, that was a great game.
No, look, it was. I mean, there's a lot to be encouraged about. You know, we had 3 out of 4 lines scoring tonight, which I love. I thought, really, for the most part, I thought everyone worked really hard. I mean, I can't say enough about how good Caden Gooley is as a defender, man. That kid is just unreal. The second line I thought was our best line of the night. That line is just amazing. I hope they can keep it up because if they can, man, that's a hell of a line.
3 stars of the game.
Our play still needs work a little bit, but we definitely did a better job
of
putting the heat on.
3 stars of the game. Of course, I mean, Matthews, I guess.
Matthews is going to be first star.
Right?
Second star, Newhook, third star.
And Doc, third star.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because, of the both teams, those 3 players stood out the most. As much as I hate to say it about Matthews, I mean, he got a hat trick, so in a winning cause, right? So, yeah, I mean, it was a good game. It was an exciting game, and the only thing missing was that we lost instead of won.
But listen, we got a point. Like I said, there's so much to be encouraged about with this team this year. I mean, there really is. Hang
on a sec. I got to go off camera.
Yeah.
No, it was a good game overall. They'll build on that, even though they lost.
Yeah, no, I mean for sure. Look, I think near the end there. I did think we started kind of getting, I think just out skilled. I think that's what it came down to. Savard had a few lapses in judgment on the end there. Like, you can't leave Matthews open on the tying goal to make it 5-5, but at the same time, I mean, Jake Allen, 3 out of the 5 goals Jake Allen has to save.
Yeah, no. Listen, it came down to a couple bad goals given up by the goalie. And it came down to that we hung in there with a team that might end up being the President's Trophy team this year. Probably almost certainly going to be the division leader this year, and not go past the first round. But that's of course. It was good to see that we hung in with them, even though a disappointing way to lose.
No, look, I thought. For the most part, on 5-on-5, I thought we were the better team.
I thought so.
They 4 of their 5 goals came when they had a man advantage. I mean, that to me is a telling thing because
it means they didn't do well 5-on-5.
Like 5-on-5, they were having a hard time. They really were.
Habs were the the better team 5-on-5. They were the better team on with the man advantage. I mean, that's clear. That's it. I mean, listen, you know what? It was a good rival game. It was exciting all the way through. The outcome was not determined till the very last shot. So, that's a good game overall. And when you're playing probably the best team in your division and maybe in the league, a good job on the Habs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy overall. It's just, the refs kind of, I thought there were some bad calls there.
For sure.
And it's not to say that they didn't maybe miss anything on Montreal, but man, they missed some stuff on the Leafs. I'm not even going to say it's on purpose, just some bad reffing overall. And anyways, we get used to that by now, right? The bad refs.
Gabriel, I mean, absolutely. Newhook, fantastic. Isaac, 1,000% agree. I mean, that second line was just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
that was the best line on the ice, I think, for either team tonight.
If you're not happy or disappointed, if there's one thing you can really look at and go, wow, I can really be happy with that, and that's really encouraging, is that second line. Doc, Slav, and Newhook, they look like they are going to catch fire this season. And that's great, because we know what Suzuki and Caulfield can do together. And I think when Monahan, because I think Monahan will get there, I think it's going to be two really solid lines.
No, absolutely. 1,000%. I wish we could have just hung on in regulation for the win. But, again, I mean, the Maple Leafs are overall a more talented team. But, again, I think it's telling that on 5-on-5, we were the better team most of that game.
Well, I mean,
I don't think anybody would argue with that. I don't.
No, it shows that the Leafs once again didn't do a good job getting defensive defensemen in there. They've got a lot of offense back there, but they're not up to par defensively. I think that's what that shows, that they gave up. They gave up 5 goals, 5-on-5.
One was on a power play, and the others were 5-on-5.
Yeah. Oh, we got a power play goal?
I guess technically both of Caulfield's goals were on the power play, but one counted.
Right. Right. Caulfield's goal was right. It was like seconds in. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, listen, you know what? It was a good game. I wish they would have won, but I mean, overall, I think it was a good game for Montreal. The outcome, like I said, the best team in the division beat them, but just beat them. That's all, just by a hair.
Yeah. No, I mean, and again, I'll go back to it. I think you really saw the recipe of how to beat the Leafs tonight. You just stay out of the box. If you don't give them a man advantage, and you work hard.
The thing is,
they're a beatable team. I mean, any team in the league is beatable, but
no. But the thing is, and I don't disagree with that. But when the refs are as bad as they were, some of it you can't. I mean, you can't help. You didn't really earn the penalty, and you're in there anyway.
And notice how after the Leafs tied the game, the whistles went away. And then we took a 2-goal lead, and then the whistles came back out.
Okay, but we're not saying that they were in.
But no.
And listen, it's not a woe is me, Montreal, the refs hate us, because we know this is not unique to Montreal. Right? So this is happening everywhere. It's even happening with the Leafs. But when it comes to Montreal-Toronto games, I think it is clear that the refs show a favoritism there. But that's just, I'm not saying that the Leafs don't get penalized and all that, right? But when it comes to Montreal-Toronto playing against each other, I don't know. I think there's something there. And my theory is, when there's Montreal-Toronto played, there's a lot of money bet on those games. And they're trying to fix those games. There, I said it, okay?
I mean, I don't think he's got anything to do with that. I just think that,
Yeah, I do.
I just think Sportsnet couldn't afford to have the Leafs lose again.
Well, this is what. Well, there you go. So then it comes down that.
But I mean,
Hey,
and it was
hey,
similar
Gary, we
to
need to
BU
win this
against
game.
Minnesota in the NCAA tournament last year. It's the same thing. BU would go up by a couple goals, whistles come out. Minnesota ties it, takes the lead, whistles go away.
Listen, when those things happen on a consistent basis, like it always happens, that's not a coincidence. There's something there. But again, it's not that it doesn't happen to the Leafs against other teams. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. Just saying Montreal, Toronto. And not all the calls were bad calls, but there were enough bad calls in there that there was something.
Absolutely.
Anyways, listen, you know what? The truth is that every other team in the league at some point has to deal with it, just like Montreal does. So it's kind of a level playing field if you look at it that way. Because, I mean, last year the complaints about the refs were all over the place. Every single team had complaints. So the refs just suck. I'm not saying fixing, nudging. Fixing would mean there's players involved. But when it's refs, they can't fix the game, but they can nudge it in the direction they want. I don't know how else you look at it. And like I said, it's not just this game. It's in other games all through the year, all through the league. Gambling. They're looking for wins. They're trying to fix the wins. Not all those other bets. They can't control that, and they don't care about that. It's the wins and losses. That's my theory. Call me crazy, and some of you will. But Eric, now I said this during the game. The Leafs did, I think last year, if they didn't have the best power play, they were right up there. So you're talking about a really good power play, and it showed tonight, you know. Give them enough chances, they're going to score some goals. And that's kind of what happened, right? Plus, I mean, there was the empty net and extra man, but that's a power play situation, and they have a good power play. So, yeah, if Montreal gives them enough power plays, and it's going to bite them in the ass against a team like Toronto because that's how it is. Now, if Montreal's power play was good, we might have had a couple of our own instead of just one. And that would have made a big difference.
I agree.
And that third line did not help us. Now, no blame on Monahan, you know, but Pearson, you know, and Galley especially was that they were a problem on that line.
For sure.
Hey Jethro, good to see you out there. One of my favorite names for the subscribers, Jethro McSheepherder. You know what? I think there's a truth to that, right? Habs will be better this year, and the refs suck. And again, not just against the Habs, the refs suck all across the league, all everywhere. So yeah, because I hear so much of it. It doesn't just happen against the Habs. It doesn't just happen against the Habs. I know that. JFed, you know what? And what we got to say at the end of the day, no matter what happened, it's on them because they lost, right? It was in their, you know, they at some points in the game they had control. They were ahead. So, you know, that's how it is. Refs still suck. It's not going to change my mind.
No, they do.
And by the way, saying that the D is not good enough, I mean, that's almost a given, right? They're still young. We still have Savard here, but they're still young. So I think they're going to be better this year, but they're not going to be perfect. Obviously, that's the thing. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Montreal's loss. I'm not. You know, they lost. That's how it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes the better team loses the game. That happens.
It does happen. Sometimes the better team loses the game for various reasons. I think partially here it's due to the refs, but it's not strictly. Allen gave up some bad goals.
No, he absolutely did.
Cole Caulfield was offside on that goal he scored. He should, if he wasn't offside, be a different game.
Made up for it though.
I'm just saying. I'm not here to cry about.
But
it still doesn't mean that it's not true that the refs were bad. That's all.
Here's another thing that I'm encouraged about. Right, we're talking about kind of why we lost this game, and we're nitpicking things. Right, we're not pointing at several different. We're nitpicking at things. We're not trying to take several different things like that. That to me, even though it's again one game, got to be consistent. But to me, that shows progress. If we have nitpick reasons why we won a game,
the point is
why we lost.
I think your point is like we're nitpicking at things, but in the end, we should be happy that this game was that close.
Yeah,
because we're not better than the Leafs. Not right now. We're not. Right. So the fact that we got to take the positives that were there. Instead of looking at, Allen gave up a couple of goals. The refs sucked. The refs were against us. Just take the positives out of the game and go forward with that. And that's really the best attitude. I'll agree with that.
There were way more positives than negatives.
There were a lot of positives, and I think that, going forward, we're going to see a better Habs team than last year. Will that mean
I think so.
More wins or not? I don't know, but I mean, at least they will be better. And I believe that'll lead to some more wins. And I don't think they're going to finish as low as they did last season. So, but I'll take the positives from this game. There were some good positives there.
Yeah, no, Lucas, you're right. They did almost double us up on shots.
Did the better team win here? You know what? To say that the better team didn't win is not true. The better team at some things in this game won. The better team at some other things in this game lost.
Yeah.
That makes sense to anybody?
No, I think that makes perfect sense.
Right? Better team at power play won. The better team at 5-on-5 lost.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
But again, I think that's really telling because the fact that we scored, 4 out of 5 goals at 5-on-5, and we were playing like with the confidence that we could score goals. Like that's a huge positive. Like when was the last time we could say that about a Habs team? We could go into a game and go, all right, we could possibly put up maybe 3 or 4 goals.
Well, at points last season, I think they were that but you're right, they weren't all through the season. I that's something they should be is confidence that they can score. And they don't give up. If you don't give up, good things can happen. Yeah. What wasn't even close, Adam? You were at the game. Leafs totally controlled the game. The better team won. Yeah, well, you were at the game with all Leafs fans. Now, listen, you know what? I mean, there's a bit of a bias there, but I guess that you could say that about us too. So, the game I saw from on TV, I think it's just like we broke it down. The better team on 5-on-5 overall was the Habs. The better team with the man advantage clearly was the Leafs. And I'm going to say it again. I think the team that got a little bit of an advantage from the refereeing was the Leafs.
Yeah.
Right?
But look, like I said, I think at the end of the day, Allen has to keep 3 of those goals out. He has to.
Yeah, because it's not sour grapes. Like this isn't sour grapes.
No.
Allen's got to take some of the blame. Our own power play's got to take some of the blame because we had 3 or 4 chances. 3? We had 3 chances.
Yeah, I mean 1 for 3 though. That's not bad.
So no, I'm not going to concede that the better team won just because you were at the game. I'm not going to concede that.
No, I mean at times Toronto did control the game 5-on-5, but for the majority of that game. Like I said, especially when we had especially when the second line was on the ice, the Leafs couldn't get the thing out.
Yeah.
Like when our second line was on the ice,
They had
the
trouble
Leafs
getting
didn't
out.
know what the hell to do with the puck.
They had trouble getting out. They were on their heels a bit.
Yeah. I mean, even the top line at points too. Suzuki and Caulfield I thought had pretty good games. But that second line, man, that's my biggest takeaway, I think. And, again, hopefully they're consistent. I think they can be consistent. I just think that line just has that kind of fire under them. But man, that third line is something special. I mean, I think it really is.
That second line is going to win us some games without a doubt.
And I was happy I was impressed with the fourth line too. I thought all three guys really worked their socks off this game.
Zachary says Norlinder scored a very beautiful goal. You were watching the Rockets play? The Rocket? Norlinder's not in the lineup. He's in the minors. Habs played really good. They did play good. And listen, it's not, and I'm not saying the Leafs didn't play good because they won the game. It was almost like it was even in the way that one team was better in one thing, the other team was better in the other, and those two teams won. I don't think that's wrong.
No, look, not at all. I think again that game just kind of shows like, don't underestimate us, because I think we play like that on a night in and night out. We can almost beat any team in the league.
Yeah, okay, but don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourselves either, of yourself, because I mean that's not reality either, because they're not going to play like that it's not going to happen. The inexperience on defense is going to catch up with us on some games. I mean, this is what's going to happen. The more consistent they can play though like that, the better. And that's what'll happen, right? As this team matures and grows, and they'll be playing more consistently like that.
Oh yeah.
That's all. And we all not even taking into account the Leafs-Habs rivalry had a lot to do with this as well.
No, absolutely.
So there you go. That's my opinion. I just hope the Habs do play with such intensity most nights. That's all. I don't think Allen led only one bad goal. I'm going to give him 2 there. I know 3, because the one of the when they were on the empty, when they pulled their goalie, the first goal Allen gave up of the 2, that was his fault. His foot wasn't against the post fully, because that came in between his skate and the post.
I mean, the second one though, he just was not in position.
No, but then he gave up 2 goals earlier that the first and third goal, you got to argue he should have probably had those. Nobody there to screen him. He had clear views of it. He should have had that. So I say there's 3 goals there of the.
I mean, I'd put 4. I'd put both empty net goals on him. I mean, he was way out of position on the second.
Oh, there you go. So yeah, Allen, while he was good at times and made some really great saves, he probably, if you're going to point the finger at any one particular thing, it's got to be him. It's got to be. I mean, the goalie is the last line of defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, and I mean, man. Well, I mean, Tanner Pearson had some decent spots.
And then it was a shootout.
But that third line, I don't. There's gonna have to be.
You could even say that third line could have cost us the game, because they were horrible. Not Monahan. Monahan
was fine.
Monahan
Pearson had some good spots, but my God, we're gonna have to have a conversation about that. Holy shit!
And this was a game we lost by 1 goal in a shootout. It's not the end of the world. So yeah, there's a lot of positives here. And one of the 2 teams won. Anyway, I'm never going to concede to them. No way. Not to the Leafs.
No.
We got to wait 2 more days. Yep.
But I think that I want to touch on the defense again, because I mean, obviously, the inexperience will hurt us a little bit, but
no, I did
think that Gouli and Arbor looked I mean, Gooley's just awesome. Gooley, I think
Gooley was
is
good.
our
Arbor
best
was
defender
good.
right now. I do.
Gooley was the best. Yeah, he was the best defenseman on the ice
But
tonight.
I thought
Sure.
Arbor, I thought had a really good game on both ends. I didn't really see
Arbor
much
looked
I didn't like
good.
out of him.
And you know that the coaching knows this because they gave him a lot of responsibility. He was on the second wave of the power play and the second defense, the PK unit, second unit. That's a lot of responsibility.
I wasn't really that thrilled with Kovacevic. He was kind of met kind of for me. Like he wasn't that good.
Well,
but
that's maybe why
I didn't think he was totally horrible. But
maybe that's why Gooley had to look so good was
he was
because
like
he was covering a little bit for maybe Kobe having an off night.
I also really didn't think Savard had that good of a game.
No, I don't think so. Although there was one defensive play he made, he saved a really good chance and maybe a goal.
No,
at one point.
he did.
There was one early in the game that he.
But I think overall, if
Savard is who he is, right?
I think on the defensive end, really just Savard and Kovacevic are really the two that I was just kind of like, they weren't. I didn't really see much that I liked. It was more so stuff that I didn't like than I liked out of them. Matheson I thought was kind of right in the middle.
Yeah, I was going to say that Matheson was good, and like you could see, he's got a little bit of. I don't know if it's rust still, but I mean, he didn't play a lot in the preseason.
Yeah.
So that's probably what we're seeing there. Give him a few games.
I mean, other than that, though, like I said, Gooley and Arbor tonight, I thought were our best defenders. I thought they both played really, really well.
Gooley was the best defenseman on the ice.
Gooley, what a player he is! He's so good.
Yeah, no, he's really
good.
No,
but I thought Arbor was. I'd say honestly, I thought Arbor was probably our second best defender. I thought he had a very, very good game as well.
I didn't notice him in the third period though. I didn't notice him out there in the third period.
I did a little bit, but again, I didn't really notice him doing anything bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I'm just saying that he didn't play enough for me to say that.
Right.
You know what I mean? He missed all that time with the penalties. And then I didn't notice him after that, so I'm not gonna. It's not that he played bad.
I saw he made some nice plays.
He did first period.
He got the assist on Newhook's second goal. He had a good shot on.
True, that's true.
So I mean, in the time he played, I thought he looked very good. And
yeah, just that it wasn't enough of a. He wasn't in the game enough for me to say that. Oh, he was the best. You know what I mean? But he did look good out there. No, I'm not saying he didn't. I love that guy, and I'm really glad because I predicted he's going to step up this year on the skills end, and we're going to see a better defenseman overall, and he's showing that.
And we saw why he's called Le Sheriff.
La Sheriff.
Like, my lord. Like, I know he didn't like fight, but like he showed like, yeah, strength. You want to do dumb stuff like that against my teammates, you're gonna pay.
He showed the strength, though. That's what was impressive.
That's what I mean, yeah.
I mean, everyone was talking about Reeves and how strong and all that. And I don't say he's not, but Arbor showed him who's stronger. So I was impressed with that, with Arbor, that just brute strength. I mean.
But again, even just with showing off his brute strength, he said, listen, you want to hit my guys like that? You're going to pay the price.
I'll toss you around a little bit. Here's the
net. Like right away, he saw the hit. And he's like, "Nope, I'm the sheriff. That is a clear violation of the law."
Yeah, no, I like the no hesitation to get in there with Reeves. I mean, that's not you'd think most guys would be like, just no hesitation. He went in after him. I like that. We need that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get you, Eric and Jay Fit, but again, Suzuki, I think, just you got to work a little bit of rust off, but Suzuki's fine. I thought overall he was fine this game.
He missed that shot. Are you saying that one like it looked like the open net?
Yeah.
He missed that because he tried to cut it just inside the post because the goalie's skate was there. Did you not see that?
Yeah.
He only missed because he didn't have much to shoot at. I think.
But no,
Goalie
but
got
I
his
mean,
leg
like
out
that,
there.
but
And the
that,
goalie
that, I mean, anybody that can
tried to
happen to
go.
anybody in the league. I don't
The
know.
angle just wasn't right to go
whatever.
around the goalie's skate and cut it inside that post. The angle wasn't right. But he tried and came close. So I wouldn't, I'm not going to blame him on that. It's not brutal. That shootout attempt by Suzuki was bad.
No, I mean it was, but again, it's the first game of the season. He's going to be a little rusty. I think he only played in 2 preseason games?
3
or 3?
3, I think.
So,
Yeah,
he'll work the rust out a little bit, but
yeah.
I mean,
And if anyone's worried about Nick, I wouldn't be worried about Nick being ready.
No, I thought the top line was good. Caulfield scored a goal. He's already on pace for 1,000 goals.
Yeah, like if Doc's line wasn't as good as it was, we might say Nick had the better line, but that's not the case. The Doc line was.
Oh
so
my
good.
God, that second line is. That line should have put the NHL on notice. Like that line looked fantastic.
Well, JFed, what if he gets 10 of those this season and he buries 9, the other 9? You're saying that number one center buries that every time on the angle wasn't there. How do you bury a shot when the angle wasn't there? Only way he could have done it is lifting it over the guy. Yes. Okay, maybe. But he gave it a good attempt. So no, I don't agree with you on that.
Yeah, no.
Would have been nice if he'd have gotten in and he'd been able to get the puck up, but he didn't. So, no, I'm not going to beat up a guy like that for that and say that number one center buries that.
First game of the season, too.
An elite shooter buries that. I don't know about a number one center necessarily. Suzuki's a good shooter. He's not an elite shooter.
That can happen to anybody in the league.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
I mean, Caulfield flubbed on it. Pretty much had a goal there near the end on his stick, and he flubbed the shot right from his office, right where he scored a goal that got called back. But he flubbed it. You can say a sniper doesn't miss that shot. Wow.
Yep, Bob Jones, you get that right. It is Chicago. Is that a Montreal or in Chicago?
In Montreal. Yeah. They're home to Chicago.
Home opener against Chicago and Connor Bedard.
Yeah, let's talk about that, and then we'll call it a night.
Yeah. No, look, should be a good game.
I'm glad Bedard got his goal tonight, the first one, so that it wasn't against Montreal.
Yeah, no, look, I think, Habs should win that game.
They should, but just like Pittsburgh, who probably, I don't know if they didn't take them seriously. I don't think that's the case, but Chicago out of the gate here, they could win some games in the first month before they can.
They lost to Boston tonight.
I'm not gonna.
But they kept that 2-1 until the end.
I'm not gonna say that Montreal is gonna beat Chicago for sure, but
I'm not gonna say they'll beat them for sure.
They should. We should though.
If they can, if the top line and especially the second line, if they continue doing what they did tonight, Saturday night.
Oh, and Doc's going to be motivated, right? Because that's his ex-team. So
Yeah, if the second line plays Saturday night like they did tonight, I don't think Chicago's going to have a chance. Because I wasn't
really thinking of that. The way second line's playing, he's going to be even more motivated. I would think through his whole career, when he plays Chicago, he's going to be extra motivated.
Yeah, and I just don't think. And again, credit to Chicago. I mean, they've played very good hockey so far. But I also don't think they match up well physically against us. And I know they just played Boston. They really don't match up that well physically against Boston. The difference is Boston's physical players are on the bad side of 30. Our physical players are all
young,
under 25.
Yeah.
So I think that could end up being the X factor in that game. Like I said, especially with that second line. If that second line plays like they did tonight, I don't think Chicago's going to have a chance. So I just don't think they have the defense to cope with it, and I don't think Mrazek's good enough to.
I expect Montreal to win the game, but we know game has to be played on the ice, and I've seen many a time beginning of the year, weak teams just have a good first month, and I could see Chicago being that with Connor Bedard there. If he has a really good start to his career, I could see them actually having some extra energy, like some extra whatever, in October.
Without a doubt.
In October, but it ends in October. And then they go back, they actually turn into the Hawks that they should be. So I think there's a chance Montreal obviously could lose this game, based on that. So we'll see. And then again, right, they just lost like a really close game to a top team in the league. That could motivate them more, like with Doc being with Chicago, and then they really want to win this game because they lost the first one. Yeah, I think they'll beat Chicago, but it's not going to surprise me if they don't.
No, I mean, me neither. But again, I just think I'm gonna go back to it. I'm just blown away with how the second line did tonight. I just, if they're on like that on a consistent basis, man, like
if they can be consistent this year like that, Montreal's fortunes will be better than people think.
No, without a doubt.
That's going to be a key thing. Like if Montreal's going to make a run at a playoff spot for however long during the season, that second line is going to be a big part of that.
Oh yeah.
If they can play like this more games than not. I mean, they were really good tonight. Anybody who wasn't sure about Newhook, well, you got your answer. Anybody who wasn't still not sure about Doc being a second line center, you got your answer tonight.
And if you weren't sure about Juraj Slafkovsky,
you're getting your answer already. He's not there where he's got to be, but you can start to see what Slafkovsky can be now. We didn't really see it last year.
I mean, that pass too on Newhook's first goal, man. No look back. What a pass
through the just on above.
He no-looked it too. I didn't even notice it in real time. He no-look backhanded that right on his tape. No-look
backhanded it to him. Yep,
right on his tape.
Yeah,
he had a sixth sense. I mean, what a pass.
Yeah, it says Slafkovsky can pass. We're learning that now. So he's the potential we thought. The potential the Habs see in Slafkovsky is finally showing now.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot more to come. I believe, anyway.
No, I mean, I think so. I'm excited, man. I mean, I'm excited for this season. I'm excited to see that second line keep going.
Yeah, Eric might be right, though. He says third line for Habs will keep Chicago in the game.
They'll keep anybody in the game. Like I said, I think we're going to have that Gallagher conversation a lot sooner than we think. Because holy shit, was he awful. It's just awful. I mean, he could barely get from the red line to the blue line without getting gassed.
I don't know if it's so much as was he gassed or he doesn't have the wheels anymore.
I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, probably a little bit of both, but I agree with you. I think it's more so. I just don't think he's got the wheels anymore. Because there were times, too, where he'd go to accelerate and he was skating in place for a second.
He lost
God.
Gally lost a step. It's clearly obvious that he lost a step. Can he get it back, though? Is it because of lack of games in the last couple of seasons? It might be, and he might improve as the. So Gally deserves the chance to prove that. He does. Right? So. You got to give him 10, maybe 20 games before they make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
No, I don't disagree, but I definitely think it's something that we're going to have to watch and watch closely because.
Well, they do, yeah.
Wow.
We are going to watch, but the problem is we got no control. They do.
I know.
Hey, Bob's your uncle. I love the name. Watch that entire game, Chicago at Pittsburgh. Yeah, we saw the whole thing. We did a watch party last night. And the Hawks are a hungry, young team that will push the Habs. Yeah. I think only in the first month. I don't see a team there that is going to necessarily get much better during the season. where other teams are going to, and they're gonna fall behind. But I think in the early blush of the new year, of the new season, I think they can do some damage in the first, 10
Chicago?
games or so.
Talking about Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. JFed, I half agree and half disagree. Power play, I think. Well, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that because, I mean, we did go 1 for 3. I think on the penalty kill, I think at times we could have been better. At the same time, I think the Leafs have like the second best power play in the league.
They do. I mean, they did last year.
So, I mean, it's tough.
Yeah. When you're up against that good of a power play, I mean, your PK might not look great.
Yeah, and I mean, I did think, there were a few penalty kills I thought we did very well on. But again, you just, when you take a lot of penalties, you get worn down.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I thought overall it was okay. I mean, it definitely needs to be better. But again, you're going up against a team like the Leafs with one of the best power plays in the league. I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah,
it's not easy at all.
Is that not, especially first game of the season? I could see that.
Yeah.
Eric says flip flop Galley and Ilonen. No, Ullinen. I had it right the first time.
I don't know. Like I said, I mean, again, I know it's only one game, but after tonight's game, I just roll with the same lines.
No, they're going to. I mean,
because the three out of the first line, the second line, and the fourth line looked very good.
Yeah, that's the thing. The fourth line looked really good. You put Galley there, you're going to bring that line down instead.
Yeah.
So I don't know that that's necessarily the solution, but with the salary Galley's getting, if he's healthy, he's got to kind of be in the lineup. I think it might come down to that, is he's got to move down to the fourth line wing. I mean, if you're gonna weaken a line, I guess fourth line would be the one, right? Because a better third line could have.
I want to see how I want to see them keep these lines, for maybe 10 or so games and see how they.
Well, I said that. I think Galley gets an audition or a look there for a good 10 games.
But again, I don't know if I want to break up the other 3. I know it's one game.
Okay. But if Galley in 10 games or 15 games, whatever their limit is still a step behind, what do you do? I think you sit him in the press box for a few games. See that jump starts him. And
especially if we start looking at the stats and his line starts being in the minus a lot more than they should, like, you know what I mean? Like, we'll after 10 games, that's a decent sample size.
Yeah,
we'll kind of look at the stats, and if it's glaring that, like, when that line's on the ice, we're in trouble.
I think
then we got to make hard decisions. And
I think you make a call to Tanya Harding's husband, and he comes in with that piece of iron, and he does a number. No, I think between 10 and 20 games, you make a decision if he's still that slow. And really, is he going to get faster? Probably not. I mean, I don't see how he's going to get any faster.
No.
I mean, it's just a shame.
No, it is. It was painful to watch, man.
Eric, a good point. There's nothing wrong with a point on the road. So Montreal getting to overtime was good. I said there's positives here. There are.
Yeah, Eric, I kind of agree with that with Pearson. Like I said, for me, he was kind of in the middle, like kind of Like he had there were a couple of points where I thought he made some good plays and he looked decent, but
with Pearson
overall, I was kind of like
he's still recovering from that hand, right?
Right.
And he was 80%. He's probably a little more now.
Have a good night, Adam.
Probably not at 100% with the hand yet.
Right.
So that's probably what you're seeing with Pearson, probably. But no, I'll agree that Pearson wasn't great. No, Galley and Pearson. Monahan tried to do what he could.
Yeah, I thought Monahan looked
Monahan
good. I didn't have an issue with how he played at all.
No, he was fine. It's his two line mates did not help him. And you know what? If you're really if you're trying to if the plan is to trade Monahan at the deadline, you're not helping that by having him play there. You're just not. It's not going to improve his stock. It's not going to help him get points. And when it comes trade deadline time, it's going to affect what you're going to get. So I don't know if that's the best thing, but I tell you what, clearly, till Devo's back, Newhook is not going there.
Oh, Newhook's
not going anywhere right now.
Career.
No, he's not going anywhere right now.
He's not going absolutely anywhere.
And unless something happens and he starts to slump. But no, after this game, you're not thinking, oh, well, maybe we'll try Newhook on the third line. No. Imagine Galley trying to keep up with Newhook.
Newhook would take a stride and already be halfway down the ice, and Galley'd still be in the red line.
Yeah, it's just not happening, right? You might as well just put two guys out there and not have a third wing or second winger. So, we need to get Devo back so that we got a third line center there, and then get Monahan off of that.
Mm-hmm.
It won't solve the problem with Galley, though, even if it's Devo. I mean, Devo's not going to make that change. But maybe Galley has an easier time.
Maybe Devo comes back and he goes on the wing and Galley sits in the box.
That's obviously that could be an option. 100%. That could be. I didn't think of it that way, but that could be an option.
I think he can play the wing as well.
Who, Monahan?
No, Monahan.
Oh, Devo.
Devo plays wing and center.
I'm not sure which side, but Devo can play one side. Yeah, definitely. He has played wing before, so not a problem. I just don't know how they'll approach it, but I kind of think it'll be like this, in my opinion. Monahan will go down to right wing on the first line. Andy will come up to replace Galley on the right side with Devo and with probably Pearson still. Now that I can see being a little better. The thing I don't like about that is, it's going to reduce Andy's goals. Andy's capable of probably 25 goals this year if he works out as a top, on that first line.
Yeah. No, like I said, I want to run these lines for about 10, 15 games because I really like what I saw out of the first, the second, and the fourth.
I can't see those top two lines changing right now.
No, very impressive. But like I said too, man, that fourth line impressed the hell out of me too. Walonen, Evans, and Harvey Pinard, I thought worked their socks off all night. I mean, seriously, they worked their socks off all night.
They did. That was a good line. There's some chemistry there between those guys.
Yeah.
Because that worked. It worked tonight with that. Yeah. And listen, on Ulanen's part, he was sort of he was sort of there last year where you say, yeah, he's ready, but not, I don't know how good he's going to be. And then this year you can see he's improved. He is an NHLer. Let's see what he does with this opportunity.
Ooh. I like this comment from Isaac. This is right up my alley. Isaac, I did see Lane Hudson's first game because I was in the arena. I was there in person. He looks friggin' fantastic, man. Just so good. He's definitely 5'10", 5'11", 165 pounds. Definitely put muscle on. He made a play. He had a defender for Bentley on his back, and he held him off with one hand, played the puck down the boards to Macklin Celebrini, and it led to a scoring chance. I mean, he just looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. He's reading the game at an elite level, man. This kid's going to hit the NHL, and we're just going to be that much better. I mean, the future of this team is so bright, it's not even funny. I mean, it really is. That kid can play. On Fowler, I haven't watched the film on the first game yet, but I know he looked good. I know BC ended up winning an OT. I guess the defending champs, no less. But I know Fowler looked very, very good. Made some very, very nice saves. Looked poised. So
Fowler's going to be good.
Again,
Fowler's going to be good.
Two solid draft picks. It's this team's got a really bright future. I mean, a really bright future.
Let's look at this comment here, and I think he's right. I hate to say it too.
I know.
Armia would be an upgrade from Gallagher, which is sad to say. And you know what? Because at least Armia can keep, he can skate with with everybody, and I'm not saying I want to see Armia back, but that is true. Really sad to say.
Yeah, Bob's Monty should start the game in Montreal. But don't apologize about bringing a prospect.
No, listen, Monty was going to start Saturday no matter what, and I put this out there before, right? If Monty's your number one, you kind of want him to open the season at home, right? And so with them not being on the road for a few games to start the season, right? They one game and then they're back at home. It made sense to put Allen in net against Toronto and have Monty start against Chicago. I think it made sense. And I had predicted that already like a few weeks ago. So I got it right. One for me.
Yeah.
One for me.
Isaac, so I'm not that surprised that Fowler got the start. I think BC's probably going to go 1A, 1B with Augustine and Fowler. That's just typically what they've done in the past.
It's Trey Augustine is there with him? That's who his goalie partner is?
I think.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. He was the first. Augustine was the second goalie taken, wasn't he?
He might have been.
Yeah, he was the second. But I personally, I think Fowler's better overall, and will prove it over the.
I think so too. But I think I've been watching college hockey my whole life. BC typically should run a tandem with those two.
With Augustine,
until they figure out kind of who.
Augustine's not a backup. He's not the backup. It's going to be like you say, 1A, 1B.
Yeah. Unless they they figure out, if there's one that they really like more than the other, maybe one gets more shares of the games. But I think for now it'll be they'll probably go every other game
until one goalie pulls away from another one. It's going to be 1A, 1B. You're talking about two really quality goalies there.
Oh yeah.
Neither of them is a backup to start with unless they prove that they are. I can't see that. So I think, split starts kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I said that in the summer, too. Alex and I were talking about it a lot. And that's what I said. I said, knowing what BC's done in the past, it's going to be a 1A, 1B.
I don't even have to know what they've done in the past. Just the two goalies, Trey Augustine, Jacob Fowler. Trey Augustine's not the backup. So if you think Fowler is not the backup, then they're 1A, 1B. It has to be. So that's how I see it, even though I don't know anything else other than that.
No, absolutely.
I didn't know it was Augustine that was there too. But Augustine was considered either the top goalie or just behind the top goalie in the draft.
Oh yeah.
Right? Him and Harabel were the top two goalies in the draft.
Oh, Fowler was ranked number 1 in the draft.
Wait a second now. Taken, I'm talking about.
Oh, taken
out of the draft.
Fowler was like the number 1 ranked goalie prospect in the draft.
Yeah, and he's going to turn out to be, I believe, anyway, he's going to turn out to be the number 1 goalie for that draft. And that's why neither of those two guys is a backup. Unless it plays out that way over a little bit of time. No. So, I didn't know Augustine was his goalie partner. You know what? That's so good because that pushes him even more. And he is a guy that when he sees like a hurdle he has to jump, his mindset is that he will win.
Oh yeah.
And that I'm really happy that Augustine is the partner there. That really makes me happy.
Oh, I know. Alex and I are stoked. We're going to both games. The BC and BU during the regular season play a home and home. We call it the Battle of Comm Avs because of how fierce that rivalry is. And Alex and I are going to both games. Can't wait. Yeah, those are going to be friggin' probably the 2 best college hockey games I've seen in a long time.
Oh, I'm sure that's a good team. That is Boston University. Is that where?
Yeah, Boston University against Boston College.
Yeah, BU's got a hell of a team.
Yeah, they Wayne Hudson and Macklin Celebrini for Christ's sake.
And it's not just that. I mean, they got
Cole Eiserman. Yeah,
they got some really good players.
But this kid, they got another Hudson's D partner, Case McCarthy's very good. He's got a friggin' missile of a slap shot.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, it's a good program, so their recruiting is really good.
Oh yeah, no, they're gonna be fantastic. I can't wait. They're gonna be such good hockey games.
But I mean,
Such good hockey games.
with Fowler. I mean, I really believe Fowler is when we're talking about goalie of the future. Jacob Dobish is good, and I think he'll be here. Fowler's the guy for the
Oh
future.
yeah.
Fowler's the
No,
guy
I
that's going to
agree.
come in and probably be the goalie when they win a cup, if they win a cup. But I say when. Fowler's going to be the goalie for that.
I think so.
At least let me say this: he'll be either the goalie or he'll be the backup. He'll be here at that point, and he's the goalie of the future.
No, I agree. And look,
he's got to perform, but I believe he's got that talent. He's got that mental drive.
Well, I was gonna say, I think the biggest thing for me right now is he already has that it factor.
He's got the it factor, but
That's the biggest thing for me right now. He's got that box checked.
He's got the mindset.
Yeah,
that needs to go along with that.
Yeah,
to be the best and to be. He's got that mindset. He's got that ability to know the shooters. I mean, if you can. His goal is when he makes the NHL, he's going to know all the shooters in the league, what they do when they're bearing down on him. He's going to know what to do. That's an amazing thing when you got a goalie that can do that, and I believe he can. He kind of already. That's what he does in college. He'll know all those shooters. What their tendencies are. Like that's something you don't. I mean, you could teach it, I guess. But to have that as a natural part of your drive and determination, that's part of your game. It's crazy. This kid's got such mental toughness at 18 years old. It's crazy. The thing I'm not sure of is how long it'll take him, right?
Right. I mean, exactly.
I first thought 5 seasons before we see him. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, look,
I think we might see him.
He could. I mean, I project him kind of like Jake Ottinger. Because Ottinger was the same way when he got to BU. I mean, I think he ended up playing all 4 years, but he went to Dallas and never looked back. So I think it'll be kind of similar.
I think Fowler either goes 3 years in college, goes to the AHL, then gets here, or does the 4 seasons in college and then makes the jump.
Yeah,
without going to the AHL.
Like I said, I think he's going to be one of the trajectory that Jake Ottinger was on.
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think Fowler's gonna be one of those goalies where you got to wait a long time for him.
No,
where you got to go. He's got to do the college thing, a few years in the AHL. I don't think that's gonna happen with him.
No. It shouldn't. I mean, like I said, especially and again, I've said the same thing about BU with Lane Hudson. I mean, both those guys are at 2 of the best programs in the country. I mean, they're developing like before our eyes. They're gonna get here, and they're well. I mean, again, Fowler's a goalie, so I really don't know. But like I said, like Lane Hudson's gonna get here. He's gonna be ready to go right away. Like BU's gonna have him ready to go right away.
The thing when you say that though, see, I think that a lot of people, a lot of the fans, if they hear that, they're going to expect Lane Hudson at his peak when he gets here, but that's not going to happen.
No, he won't be at his peak. He's going to be. He's going to be NHL ready. He's going to be able to play in the NHL.
But he'll be good, and he'll get better as he plays, right?
Oh yeah.
But I think I think Lane Hudson's a kid that does not see the AHL.
No, and like I said, I mean, I don't. No. I really don't think Fowler will. I don't. Not with the way the BC develops their goalies. I have a hard time seeing it.
I think there's a really good chance because of his talent level. Like he's a money goalie. He's got the skills, and man, he has that mental toughness. And if you think no, the mental thing not that important, it is that important. Especially if you're going to be a goalie in Montreal, and Carey Price will tell you that.
No, I mean, for sure. And look, again, and I can speak to this because, again, I've been watching college hockey for my whole life. And, I mean, I live in Massachusetts. I live 20 minutes from both schools. Historically, BC's always pumped out forwards and goalies. Consistently.
Goalies, I know.
NHL caliber forwards and goalies. 1,000%. BU is always pumped out NHL caliber defensemen. always.
Oh, BU's pumped out the goalies as well, from what I heard.
Goalies as well. Yeah. Well, Ottinger. Yep.
Yeah, when we got Fowler, and I did a video, and in that research, I mean that BU is a great school for this kid to go and develop at.
Well, BC's at Fowler, or Fowler's at BC, but I'm talking about.
After I asked you, which is the team? Where's Hudson?
Hudson's at BU.
Oh, Fowler's not. I thought Fowler was there.
No, Fowler's at BC.
Okay, right. So BC is a great place for goalies.
Yeah, no, he's in the perfect college for a goaltender. And like I said, Hudson's in the best college that he could be at for a defenseman.
There you go.
I mean, BU pumps out defensemen all the time. Like I said, BC pumps out goalies all the time. They pumped out some decent forwards too. I mean, obviously BU is going to pump out Macklin, but
I wonder.
But BU usually pumps out very good defensemen.
When do these guys have to make their commitments to the team? Now, I ask you that is I'm wondering, was it the Habs that might have steered them there so they were at these best schools for them?
No, typically those are in place verbally before the draft even happens.
Okay, that's what I didn't know if that's the case.
Those are typically in place verbally, then the draft will happen, then they'll sign the letter.
So, in other words, great recruiting by the schools.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Hey, Joe, good to see you there.
And it's a lot to do with the national development team as well, because those coaches know where to send their players if they want to go and pursue college hockey. Like, they know where to send them, or at least they'll say, listen, Jacob Fowler's kids, all right, you're a goaltender. These are the schools if they're looking at you, you really want to pay attention here. Like,
right.
Hudson, you're a D-man. These are the schools you really want to look at.
And then take a look at that and say, well, this is a great college for goalies, and they went and recruited him.
Yeah.
That'll tell you a little bit about how they see him, right? They're not going after kids that aren't going to be the best in their minds, right? Fowler is obviously, yeah.
But I mean, forwards too. BC went out and recruited Cutter Gauthier. BU recruited Eiserman and Celebrini.
Yeah.
And they got Tom Willander too, that I had no idea about until like a few weeks before the season started.
And didn't they recruit Eiserman like he was already at it?
He was in Minnesota, and he's actually from here. Cole Eiserman's from Newburyport.
Okay, so I bet you that was an easy recruitment. They went, "Hey, we'd like to have you." Oh,
no, he wanted to come back. He wanted to play closer to home, and I think they said, "Yeah, we want you." He went signed.
Yeah, I'm gone. I'm out of here.
But yeah, and the other great thing with Hudson is he's being coached by a former NHLer right now, in Jay Pandolfo. So he's gonna have a lot of the questions he might have are gonna be answered for him, because
he'll be ready for the NHL.
Yeah,
not just skills wise, but he'll be mentally prepared.
Right.
A lot better when you're coached by a former NHLer, because I mean they know what it's like. They can pass that on.
Oh, exactly.
So that is good.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, even in film sessions, like just having Pandolfo there to kind of point out, like, all right, this, that'll translate well. This, not so, just stuff like that. It's huge. That's why I'm so happy he's at where he's at.
Yeah, no,
it just gives me more confidence that he's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah, the prospects are in a very good place. All right, on that note, we're a little bit over time. It is getting late. So what do I want to say? I don't know if I have any videos coming out soon, because I got nothing like prepared, but the last one came up kind of suddenly. But please check that out. I've got 3 videos I just put out recently. Please check those out. They're up on my channel. The podcast. So we got our podcast out, the Pucking Around podcast. If you want to listen to it, link is in the description. Just press the show more. You're going to see the link there. Just click on that. If you do, please hit the follow button and follow us. And we'd really appreciate that. That's really helpful if you would do that. I also want to announce this kind of news. Actually, we're going to start announcing this, guys. Matt, we got to start doing that.
Mm-hmm.
With the new podcast is going to come a new channel. So I'm not leaving. Talking Habs isn't going anywhere, but we are going to be starting a new channel between me, Matt, and our two partners on the podcast. It'll be the Pucking Around channel. We don't know the exact name, and everything be directed there. So we're gonna hopefully when we get it up, hopefully you guys will all go over there and subscribe and help get us as close as we can to the monetization level. So just announcing that a little bit early. But it is going to happen, and it starts with you guys listening to the podcast. So hopefully you guys will do that. Remember, the link is in the description. I'll be back Saturday. Saturday Hockey Talk will actually be this weekend only because I think our draft, I think I made it for Saturday at noon. If you guys who are in it can't be there, you'll be on auto draft. But Saturday Hockey Talk is going to be a live draft for the Talking Habs pool. Just letting you know that. We potentially might have a live draft on Friday as well because we're doing a creators pool, and it all has to do with the podcast and everything. It's only going to be creators. We were invited a few people, and we're setting that up right now. So hopefully that'll happen Friday. That's stuff to look out for. I'll be doing the game and the post game on Saturday as well. And that's it. I don't know what else to say. That's what's coming up. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that and watch us and listen. And please, if you have the time right now, check out the podcast and let us know in a comment because you can leave a voice message or I believe a written comment. Let us know what you think about it. And there's a poll there. Answer with the poll. And I can't push it any more than that. That's it. And Matt, you got anything to add?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head.
Or I'm just running off at the mouth. So that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate that. It was a great night, fun game. We didn't win, but it was a fun game and a really good post-game show. So thanks for that. See you soon. Till then, stay safe out there. Peace out. Have a great rest of the night. And ciao, everybody. Keep your stick on the ice and go Habs, go.
Go Habs, go, baby.
Go Habs, second line, go. Ciao, everybody.
See you guys.